Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the speed run through Chris Sawyer's Locomotion. Today we're going to do the real world levels on the easy setting. It's not a setting, it's just how they're categorized. These should be very quick. Most of these are just delivering passengers. This one is certain profit. This one's performance index. I'm going to start here. This should be the easiest one of the bunch. All right, this is Mr. Thin, Theodore Thin, I think. Yeah, that's our boy. Thin lines. All right, well, easiest way to get going is with trains. Let's maybe make a line from here to there. We're gonna make that station a little longer later, but for now, it should be all right. Once again, this is 1905, so we don't need to be too crazy with speed of our trains here. But we do want to have a lot of catchment area. That's all we need. We're really never going to expect more than, what is it, 20 passengers? Yeah, it's just not going to happen. If it happens, I mean, it'll be great. But, like, it's just so unlikely at this stage. I might throw another one on there just for safekeeping. Actually, yeah, I mean, screw it. So why am I deleting this road? This is an important thing to know when you're building trains. If you ever have like a station like this where you have a block that's separated, including by a road, train will try to stop here instead of going all the way through. Not what you want. So we try to avoid that. What I'm about to do is basically, what I did there was I unloaded the train, or rather I took the train off the track as soon as it had made its money. So it hadn't actually loaded any of the passengers from the station, which is great because I want to actually pick them up. Now, you may know this, but if you go ahead and take your train off the tracks for whatever reason, they drop whatever cargo they're carrying. So I want to try to avoid that as much as possible whenever you're making changes to any trains that are already running. All right, that should have been like super easy. Are there any other? Geneva, of course. A whole lot we could do here. Maybe a bus. Buses are awful at this stage in the game just because they are so slow. So what I'm doing here, I want these buses to be fairly close together because we're at a stage where it's so slow that these buses actually will not they won't get passengers there on time. Like, this might take multiple days to get just a small distance on the map. Let's say that was 6 days. I guess it's not that bad, but 8 days there, 8 days there. And again, if we check out the chart, passengers are all right after 8 days, but they do have pretty big drop off. So I've basically made the catchment area as big as I could, and I have allowed this bus to. Well, I don't. I guess it's a couple extra blocks. Keep it on the local. Oh yeah, quick note with local and express. If you have an extra station over here and a bus has to go through it, it will stop at that passenger stop and it will try to unload. This may not be desirable. So if you switch this to express, it will only stop at the stops that you have told it to stop at. So it's going to plow right through there. Unfortunately, this also means the bus will go as far as it can, so to this catchment area or station stop all the way in the back, which is also not the greatest. But if you have stations like this where you need to worry about the bus going through a stop without unloading or something like that, that's one way to avoid that using the express route feature. All right, what else can we do? Cargo is kind of not really a viable thing here in the Swiss Alps. This one train we have available right now, the SLM, is just so weak. And as we saw from a previous episode, we don't really get a lot of added power, even if we add a bunch of locomotives here. So there's not a whole lot we could do cargo wise. I'm going to basically solve this just with passengers. That should be all right. And once again, we are going for performance index in this one, so we do want things that are lucrative. We don't want to waste our time with anything else. Any other good spots to put a train or a bus? Let's check out the cities. Zurich, sure. Yeah, we can make that work. The bus is gonna really struggle to go up and down that area, but shouldn't be a big problem. It'll be worth it just to get a little bit more cargo moving. We should win probably by the end of this month with what we've added for safekeeping. I'm going to just add a little bit more. So I will actually set this guy to express because I want him to get a little bit farther down the road there, and I want this catchment area to extend as far as it can. Ah, silly. So this bus should now go as far as it can to make us the most money, and of course it doesn't. That was actually new to me. Oh, there it goes. Actually, it might have to do with if there's many stops in a row, it might always go to like the farthest away from the other buses. Probably have to test that out. That's a little bit outside of my area of expertise at this moment. Or anything else we could do at the moment here? It's a vineyard, farm. We may be able to do something with this livestock. Livestock doesn't really match up tonnage-wise with other cargo quite the same, so it's not like the worst thing in the world. So we might actually try to do something like this. I'm probably gonna miss if I do it from there. Brilliant. All right, let's see what we could do. Let's see how it does with 6. We could always build another line fairly easily. I mean, we're gonna need to. Yeah, see, it's struggling just to get like out of the station here, so we really can't load up this train anymore. But what we can do is add another line to this situation. Right. Wasn't exactly what I meant to do, but I guess it can't hurt. Go back to 5. Of course, we need signals. We are in the Swiss Alps. Trains do go on the right, pass on the left. You know what I mean. Oh, geez. Maybe if I could ever click it. There we are. Gonna just snag this guy, take one thing off of his cargo, maybe two, just to get a little faster delivery there. Neato. And the cool thing about this is that it takes so long to get from point A to point B that we just throw trains at this problem. This is a real good example of like a microservice type of thing if you're into that. And at this rate, I mean, well, there we are. Game's over. Too easy. That's why they are called the easy levels. All right, we're moving on to Great Britain and Ireland. This one is super easy because you just have to do passengers. All right, we can see clearly now. So I don't even care what kind of performance rating I get. I just want a lot of passengers to get delivered. All right, so that gets us one spot. I should throw down a few trains just because that will be like far easier. Unfortunately, there's no electric trains yet in Great Britain, so we'll have to wait a tad there. But no reason we can't get some other stuff going. Looking at our list of cities, I just want to make sure we have a decent. We're hitting the right spots, basically. They're difficult to get right. Like Leeds, yeah, it tends to be, I guess, fairly populous. That going to Scarborough, that could be a pretty easy line. It's extremely unoptimized as far as a railway goes, but we missed horribly. That should cover the whole city. That should cover the whole city. I don't even think the mail carriage has been invented yet. So that should be fairly hard at work. Now we could do other industries. I don't mean to like make the game unfun in that respect, but this doesn't help us with our goal, you know. So let's see. I want to make sure I get to this house. 2, 3, 4. So we are going to start here. We're going to go straight out. And remember what I said before about the train track only, or rather, this train stopping at the first part of the station? Well, this part of the station is truly just helping us for catchment area. It's not doing a whole lot else. Now, I'm going to be really cheesy on this one, and I want to get as much of Milton Keynes as possible because it's not a huge city. So I'm actually going to try to get our train up here. Oops, that is not exactly the right... could have done this one here. Now it can go up, and one more, and now it can go all the way across. And this should be terrific. Oh, we need a little more cash. And see, the train will stop there. It'll never get to this station. Maybe if we did like express something to do. In fact, wouldn't be a bad experiment. Let's see, that train's coming back right now. He's gonna go all the way through? No, he's not. So I guess we have our answer. Challenge-wise, we're getting there. We really got to just move passengers. So it's going to be a lot of buses here. And we're basically going to go until we can't pay for any more. 10,000 pounds is our limit, so we cannot afford to do any more trains at the moment until that limit gets increased. So I'm basically just going to throw down as many buses as possible. Waterford, sure. Ordinarily, I'd never build a bus to do this, but again, you have to respect the challenge. I thought that bus was facing the other way. Terrible. Where else are there lots of people? Why are we looking where there's lots of people? Well, it's the most number of people who could possibly be getting on at your stops. That should cover most of that part of town. Oh, geez, I was building stops instead of this bus. Norwich is growing. Ooh, just barely able to sneak by with that one. This number should be just soaring at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's just going very quickly at this point. I could do maybe one more right here just to drive it home. No pun intended, since buses are winning this game for us right now. And that is all she wrote, folks. Yeah, these are just insanely easy. We're going for as fast as possible. I'll do the North America one. This is deliver 2,000 passengers, so a little interesting, or a little similar concept here. Boston is our biggest. Unfortunately, well, we can throw down some. I'm happy to throw down some. Can't. Has to be orange. Has to be orange and blue. I'm a huge Mets fan. If I haven't mentioned that before. So we'll throw down. Yeah, Boston is a great city to transport to. I mean, you have all this area here. Even in the later stages, you can work with this, throw some train lines down. But if you're not doing passengers, really not a whole lot else going on there. Miami's also decent sized. Columbus is decent sized. I like to get a train going between those. And again, we're going to cheese it because this is by far the easiest way to do it. And then, yeah, we're not picking up a lot, but we just go ahead and drop down a few more of these. Now we're even picking up stuff from Tallahassee, so like this is going to be a huge, huge situation there. Do I need to go above and beyond that one? I might. Yeah, just for a little extra there. We only have the special 240 right now, so there's not like a whole lot we're missing by using the tight radius curves. These are obviously just going to be single track situations. The developers did an excellent job with this the layout here. Yeah, 48 passengers at one of these stops is just absurd. It just wouldn't happen. Buses are going to be the name of the game. Savannah should be... There it is. I always forget my geography. That should be enough for us to get this going. All right. I think Pensacola's fairly big. It is not. It's only 344. Ah, there it is. It's a great spot to get a train going, though. And you know, New Orleans isn't too bad. Baton Rouge isn't too bad either. How much can we borrow is the question. 30K, that should be all right. And this is gonna pay dividends, so I'm not too worried. Railroading is extremely cheap early in the game. We'll just go straight through. I forgot to build any stations. That's all on me. Alright, that should be underway just fine. Speed things right along here. Miami's still our well, it is now our biggest city. Starting to grow already. New Orleans, excellent. Indianapolis, so you can definitely get a bus going over here. It's just not worth going across this bridge, honestly. Oops, that's the wrong button. Like, just for proof of concept, like, this bus is just never gonna be able to do what it's got to do. I mean, it takes forever to get up to speed, and then 15 miles an hour is your speed limit. So, does not do a whole lot for you. We're cruising right along here. Baton Rouge does have a stone bridge, so we can take a little bit advantage of that. I think that should cover everything. It does. All right. Should be making good progress. Yeah, I mean, game's going to be over very soon. When this train arrives, well, not that one necessarily, but when this train arrives, we're just going to see constant spikes in passengers coming through. Try to get Tallahassee developed a little bit. Yeah, just stay away from those wooden bridges, folks. Charleston, yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, this is actually, you know, I could probably justify some renovations. I'll go ahead and put some regular road construction in there. Look at that, we're doing improvements for the city. Everything's all good. That should cover all of that. And now we can have a semi-efficient route here. Not going as quickly as I would have liked. I guess I could be building, you know, more, but This train ever transported more than 20? Absolutely not. Yeah, it can be tempting to throw a lot of carriages on these trains, but again, in the early phase of the game, it's just these industries and these towns don't produce much. Like, take this chemical works for example, right? 300 is like kind of excessive, and maybe that's just the North America version of it, but like 240 is a lot more typical here. 210, that's kind of low for livestock. Oh, that's not a real towns one, but you see, you start to see the idea. 240, I mean, it's on the low side for oil. Dallas, obviously, yeah, they made it produce a lot more early on. Anyway, we definitely could be building a little bit more, so let's not delay. Yeah, what does stink about at least the way they've done the North Americas? You have so much water out here, and there's really not much you could do. And they tried to get the Floridian Peninsula in a good place, and I get that, but yeah, it's there's so much that ends up happening right here because these are huge cities. I mean, Tallahassee, Columbus, and Pensacola don't really grow at the correct rates compared to like Palm Beach, Tampa, Miami. Like these grow so much slower. If you develop Miami early enough, you can get it into a decent place. But oh, we're not even going fast, are we? But yeah, you miss out on a ton up here. Like there are some Canadian cities even. Long Lac. I think they have Toronto. Uh, Montreal is here. London. There's Toronto. But yeah, there's just so much geography here that you have the Great Lakes, fine, but a lot of this is water. You can't really do too much with it. Um, yeah, these cities just don't have that much room to grow throughout the game. But anyway, we should be done very soon. This is a little bit of a lame one, but there's not a whole lot to do here. All right, let's see. Next up here, we've got North America West and North America Midwest. I like working my way up in the category as the years go on. This one's just delivering passengers. So I guess we could stay on brand here. We are in the 1920s, so there's a little bit more available to us now. Um, at least bus-wise, we have the Vulcan. We have the Baldwin available as well, but we won't be using that because, again, we're just going to be moving passengers. Jackson, there's not a ton around here that we could do. Well, I guess to Memphis. Yeah, all right, that shouldn't be too bad. We definitely did not need to go that far back, but in fact, how far back do we need to go? I am a cheapskate. Right to there. We're killing all these trees. Memphis is definitely gonna not like us. Oh man, oh man. And this is probably one where there's not a great spot to have a track, so I will cheese this one once again. Now we should be able to get tons of passengers here. Now the irony is that you can only build a station so long, and yeah, I think we've actually hit that limits. So we don't need all of this over here because the catchment area I think does hit the entire town. Yeah, so I'd rather repurpose that space up here to make sure we've actually hit everything. Again, doubt we're going to ever get 48 passengers at one time here. And now it's just the bus game. Now we are in the 1920s. Towns do grow a little bit faster. Whoops. Road construction, there we are. This could end up working out for us. We do have... Getting way too ahead of myself here. I guess the Vulcan must not come out until like 1925 then. I thought it was 1915. Oh well. This is the Midwest. I'm not quite sure why Pittsburgh is still here. Chicago is much more appropriately sized here than it was in the American Northeast level. And yeah, we could do one out here, sure. Yeah, this is, I guess, a really crappy time to have stuff going. Like, things are more expensive right now, and yeah, you don't get as much value for your dollar. At this point, I'd be looking for just, quick train lines. Houston, Dallas. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna be a little bit of a cheapskate again and lower all this down because it's just gonna be royal pain in the ass otherwise. I'll get those two meet up in the middle. Unfortunately, there's a house there, so I'm gonna have to cheese it in Houston. Looks like I'm calling cheesing it. It probably is a legitimate strategy otherwise, but it just kind of feels cheesy. Like real railroads wouldn't be built like that. I'm gonna be even cheesier, I guess, to try to get more business here and pull one of these. All right. I'm sure there are comments about why am I not using any mail. The answer is very simple. These stations don't accept mail. I may have explained before, but you need like office buildings or flats to be able to actually uh, actually like deliver mail to wherever you want. Uh, so up until that point, you're kind of stuck just going with passengers. And fortunately, that is the name of this game. So we're gonna just stick with it. Denver's got to be out here somewhere. Indianapolis. There's Denver. Denver's like really not elevated here. It's also tiny. Jeez. Albuquerque. Do we have any spots there? Maybe you could go to El Paso, but how much money can we actually take out here? Yeah, it's just not enough, and it's too treacherous. What we can do though is, well, would you look at that? Albuquerque is now the most populous city. There's just nothing down here. I feel like there really should be another city or something. No, it is just the desert. I guess in 1920 it really wasn't terribly developed. Hmm. We could see about it. I mean, we gotta start making tracks here. So, all right. Once again, we could transport a lot of stuff. I mean, oil is very, very easy to transport, especially on this map. You have tons of stuff around Dallas and Houston. Shoot it out to Memphis, Kansas City, oil refineries. Any of that's good. Find the Memphis and Jackson area to be easiest just because you have so much room to build here. We're doing all right in our challenge. We need a lot more passengers moving around though. Hmm. Yeah, it's just it's not like we can't build trains, but not the easiest area. And if we want to do this quickly, we have to make a few trade-offs. So that kind of backfired. So another trick, if you ever have a station set up somewhere you don't want, you just build station platforms away from it and then allow another station to take its place. So that should cover most of this area. That wasn't a question. I was just just being dumb for a sec. Now, there does come a time where like you run out of stuff to do and you're kind of strapped for cash. Passengers aren't quite cutting it. I mean, these are lucrative. These are lucrative routes, transporting passengers, especially. I mean, this might be our longest one, and it's 12 days. I mean, this train takes 13 days, so it's not like we're losing a lot of money with passengers there, but you're only doing like 13, 14 at a time, whereas like I could grab oil from here, just ship it off somewhere, and that's going to be way more profitable for me. A lot of grains out here. Oh, we can keep the party going, I suppose. St. Louis. Ah, it's not too bad. I'm gonna maybe refurbish this bridge for them. And we can get some haulage going. A little more cash on hand. All right. And eventually we will start making enough money. Like, this is a viable line. I just want to be able to do it. Actually, it's a good question. How much does a suspension bridge cost? It's at $300. I mean, that's actually not terribly expensive at all. We could totally afford this. Two should be all we need. We want just this over this land for now. So our target was $320, and we've exceeded that. So we could basically just kind of come around here. There's a trade-off. Eventually, you're unable to build because it's so high up. So we are gonna probably have to. Probably should have done something like around here. So I am actually gonna have to lift up a little bit of this land. And this is where this construction project ends up becoming expensive. The answer is it's just too high. Maximum, it's 160 feet. So we'd need to get this up to like 96, I guess. Yeah, this is the one thing to be forewarned about with suspension bridges. I'm actually going to do a very tiny curve here. Back to the suspension bridge. We're going to need a little more cash. The irony is that now that we're back over flat land, we need to go even higher up to handle that. But we have our line done. It was a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. And let's extend the tracks here through Albuquerque. A little more money. Oops. This should actually have a little bit of promise with this station. Interesting. Yeah, passengers are showing up and leaving. The bus is not taking them, I can assure you of that. Oh, and there we are. I mean, that was terrific, actually. All right, and rounding out this episode, North America West, this one we actually have to do $6,000 in profits for our MAR vehicle. So this is where it makes a little more sense to target industrial routes, freight routes, I should say, because we care about that now. Not to say passenger routes aren't helpful, but I mean, it is also 1910. The towns aren't gigantic. Like we could do something maybe Dallas to Houston, Dallas to Fort Worth. But we're gonna have a lot better luck doing doing cargo. So we could start here, I guess. That's a ton of oil, actually. So this is going to be tremendous. That's a good place to start. And this is nice and flat. I don't know if this is just the level being easy or what, but actually we are going to want to come out with it a little bit just as we want to have enough room to like elevate, because these trains do kind of suck. So I went like way too far here. All right, I think the Baldwin has been invented, yeah. We're just gonna go with 7. We're probably gonna need to get another train on this line. But we'll check in on that in a little bit. In the meantime, I want to see if we can develop some other industries. Livestock are great, and at this point in the game, I think they're like one of the most lucrative things you could transport. Doesn't require production. Yeah, steel obviously is great, but you got to produce it. Livestock, as long as you deliver it on time, it's good stuff. Two livestock farms here. Don't see a ton of food processing plants, unfortunately. It's a coal mine. There's a lot of coal here. If we had a steel mill, that'd actually be tremendous. There's one right there. Yeah, it's gonna be worth it just because I know how much. Of course. That should cover both. Coal is not the most lucrative, but we're gonna have a ton of it, so it is probably gonna be worth it. I'm gonna probably just do single stations. I don't really anticipate us needing to do much more than that. If we go up here, it won't be too terrible. In case we ever want to change that. don't think we have to go up any farther. Of course, I run into that as soon as I say it. We're going to be using the Baldwin, so again, these tight turns don't matter too much. And we don't even need to go up. How about that? Terrific. Let's get some coal going here. Seven should be all right. Oh man, yeah, it's going crazy. Definitely are going to need not just an extra train, but an extra entire station platform. I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. That should actually be fine. That is totally the wrong track. Ooh, that's a little unfortunate. We're gonna kind of run out of money here very soon. So I hate doing this, but taking the road away from these houses is an option, unfortunately. Yeah, Denver's not gonna really like me, but yeah, this is not great. And we'll need to throw down some signals. Get us a clean start there. Again, we're in North America, so right is going forward. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. Ah, we almost missed some track there. That would have been tragic. Ah. There's a train. And we'll definitely get one more train because I think this coal mine is still going crazy. I mean, yeah, barely even flinched. There's tons of coal there, literally. I think 3 trains should be okay here. All right, so 3 has definitely started to exhaust the situation, but yeah, we're definitely gonna fall down from here. But I think 2 might not be that great because I mean, like, there's still coal waiting, and yeah. Let's see what else we could do here. I think a passenger train could be pretty lucrative. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of cash. I hate doing buses if I can ever avoid it. Buses are only valuable if you have truly no other option at this stage in the game. Granted, you have nothing else you could throw down, and you need or you need to do passenger transport. Oh, that was easy. Didn't expect that. All right, so that concludes all of the easy stages. I think next up we'll come to the mediums. But thanks for joining so far. I think we're on pretty good pace. I will catch you all next time. Take care.